All right, Matthew at Maddie's in Niagara. So what we have here, we got my buddy's 2006 Chevy Duramax 2500. This truck got me in trouble in the past because some people weren't patient. Um, but what we have a turbo position, a turbo Vane position code for this truck. And there is a solenoid. There is a solenoid that's right on top of the turbo, tucked right back in here, that controls the vane. Variable vane turbocharger to control boost and stuff like that. And it's kind of running like a bag of shit. It's setting a map sensor code, more than likely all related to the vane position. But the point of this video is, again, you got to know what you're working on. I got some unicorn tools out here, the Triton scanner, the multimeter, and then what we have attached to the connector on the vane position solenoid is called a Noid light. You have to know what you're working on, because if you were to test this with a halogen bulb, and on the scanner here we have turbo vane position solenoid on and off. I can go in here, I can command this thing on. You see the Noid light up. We can turn it off. You see it slowly dim back down. What's going on there is the way that is controlled. It is pulse width modulated from the PCM. There is no fuse for that circuit. There is a high and low, and it shoots short, small pulses, electrical pulses from the PCM to the solenoid to control that. It's kind of like a stepper motor for an HVAC module or an instrument cluster on an older cluster. But it very fast, very quick. You will not pick that up with a halogen bulb. You cannot load test the actual circuit from the PCM to the other point and get it, because it's not going to light it. And the point is, if you were to go and take the PCM fryer here, which my old boss Jeff is fully aware of, because he's probably fried a couple. I know he fried a PCM with that thing. There was a story from Badger back in the day, which is pretty funny. Not for the customer, but if you don't know what you're doing and you go and take full 12 volts with the PCM fryer, the power probe, and you start shooting it through a module, you're going to end up frying a PCM, and the PCM on these Duramaxes is quite expensive. So I have already checked with the multimeter. Our solenoid ohms at 3 to 7 ohms. It's 4.7 ohms, which is in spec of the 3 to 7 ohm range. I can turn on the circuit, pulse width modulated with the scan tool. So my buddy's either got an issue here going on with the screens, oil pressure to the turbo, or the turbo itself. More than likely the vanes, because I believe there is some fair amount of miles on this vehicle. So again, I just wanted to do a quick video here of the difference between pulse width modulation and normal voltage. So that is not a normal 12 volt circuit. It doesn't operate like that. And if you go to shoot 12 volts through it back to the PCM, you're going to have an issue. There's no main fuse. It's all controlled by the circuit board, by the PCM, real quickly. And if you want to test it properly, you're not going to see the voltage with a halogen bulb, because it's not enough to light it up, because it's not consistent. It's small, short pulses. So again, 17 years doing this. I have been fully trained by the dealers. That was something that was trained to me back at Fox Valley Tech in the early days, and then all the dealer courses that I took. And then again, description and operation. It's always, that's why I pay for the software, because the dealers, the automakers are changing stuff on a yearly basis. Anytime something new comes out, they have a description and operation in there on Identifix. So if I have a question about how a circuit operates, I can go in there, I can go down the list, see, it'll tell me how it's operating, whether it's like a fused regular circuit, pulse width modulated, things are going from one module to another. I get a complete description. So when I dive into some of these electrical nightmares, which I'm pretty good at, I don't just throw parts at it. I get right down to it, because I look at the diagrams, I look at the description and operation, and again, 17 years experience. So hopefully this will help somebody out there, because again, pulse width modulated, Completely different from a solid 12-volt signal coming out of a fuse or a relay from the main fuse block. So make it a great Saturday.